So as we continue to watch Laura here, you can see the spaghetti models continuing to push off towards the Texas coast. That's why we're going to watch this very carefully. And you can see there is that cone of uncertainty just coming in here in about the last hour and a half. Houston squarely in the cone. The Hurricane Center saying this very well could be a major hurricane on final approach to the upper Texas coast and or extreme southwest Louisiana. This particular path here is very Rita-like, and that's why we're going to want to watch this carefully. But again, everywhere in the cone has the same chance of being impacted as the very center. So just keep that in mind. Now, as we take a look at the chance of hurricane force winds, you'll notice that the chances of hurricane force winds being seen in Galveston, Houston, 10, 13%, 16%. In Port Arthur as we get into the very early morning hours of Thursday. Obviously, these chances are going to go way up as the storm begins to close in on our coastline. So take a look here at the tropics, a very well put together system beginning to get that classic hurricane pinwheel look to it as it continues to move just to the south of Cuba. That's important because that has allowed the storm to strengthen, and that may actually help push it a little bit further to the west in our general direction. There's a look at the satellite, the visible. This is what you would see if you were on the space shuttle looking down on it. You can't see in the dark time, so we're going to lose the satellite here in the next hour or so. But again, you can see the what we call the CDO, the central dense overcast, really blowing up over that center of circulation. Obviously, a very well put together system and likely to be our first major hurricane of the 2020 season. So what we know about Laura, once again, the chance of a Texas impact is increasing this evening. All hurricane preparations should be well underway at this point. Today, I went and got my batteries, flashlights, water, and everything that I would need as well. Significant uncertainty remains in the forecast, and that is going to be the key. Now, if and only if we were to see a direct impact, this is what may transpire: very strong damaging winds, even in Houston and well north of Houston. So those of you in Kingwood, Conroe, Huntsville, you're saying, oh, well, this is more of a coastal system. If we get a direct impact, this would certainly be a hurricane for you as well. And we're talking about a significant storm surge along the Galveston and Bolivar Peninsula, and it could trigger evacuations. That's why you're going to want to watch this carefully. Go to KHOU.com. You can get this map and find your zip code just in case that is called for over the next couple of days. In the meantime, here's a look at the history of some of the big hurricanes that have hit the Texas coast. We've got the 1900 storm in blue, Hurricane Rita, Hurricane Ike, and you'll notice the storm that Laura is forecast to take is very similar to that. That is the reason why we're watching this so closely, because most of those storms that have taken this path have found their way into southeast Texas. The atmosphere has no memory of what happened yesterday, so it's not a guarantee, but certainly the computer models are certainly indicating that might be the case, and that's why we're going to watch it carefully. Hurricane Marco closing in on the southeast Louisiana coast. Here's a look at that cone of uncertainty. Notice how far it has bent to the left here, and you say, oh wow, that means a lot of heavy rain headed our way. There may not be much left of it by the time it gets here, as very strong wind shear in the upper levels of the atmosphere continue to do a number on this system. But most of the models take what's left of it in our direction. That could trigger some showers and thunderstorms as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday ahead of Laura. There's a look at the system once again. Very strong wind shear doing its number on the system. But I want you to notice here, there is Laura. Look at the strong wind shear that Marco's having to deal with versus no wind shear that Laura is going to be facing as it moves into the central Gulf of Mexico. And that's why we think that the atmospheric conditions here, as it pushes towards the upper Texas coast, will be very favorable for rapid deepening here. And again, we're looking at Category 3, Category 4 possibly, moving into the northwestern Gulf of Mexico. Again, not a guarantee, but you'll notice even on the model here, look at the donut eye beginning to show up in the computer models. Now, where does it go? Well, we're talking about the bumpers: high pressure to the left or to the right, high pressure to the left, and in between it is that weakness. And it really depends on what Marco does here. Does it open the door maybe for a Louisiana strike? Does high pressure build in its wake and push Laura more in our direction? A lot of questions remain at this point. That's why we're going to have to watch this very, very carefully. Again, continue your hurricane preparations over the course of the next 24 to 48 hours. In the meantime, temperatures in the mid-90s. We're talking about a 30 to 40% chance of showers in the afternoon. Hurricane Laura making its approach to the Texas or Louisiana coast Wednesday into Thursday. Obviously, what happens after that remains to be seen. Certainly stay vigilant. Download the KHOU weather app. We'll keep you updated there and online as well.
All right. Thank you so much, Blake. And as you said, now is the time to prepare. Find out what you need with the KHOU Severe Weather Guide. You can download yours at khou.com/severe weather or text the word weather to 713-526-1111. And thank you to our sponsors: CenterPoint Energy, AARP Houston, American Furniture Warehouse, and Shell.